Welcome back to the last tutorial of the Stacking Stats Challenge. In this video, we're going to talk about the submission, so the final stage of this challenge. Previously, we went over the strategy development template, and in that video, we talked about some checks that are necessary. For instance, we want to make sure that we're using up our entire budget, and we want to make sure that our model is not forward-looking. However, there could be some conflicts outside of the model logic. Namely, there could be some conflict in the environment. So here we're going to be leveraging the Hypertrial library rather than simply running some predefined tests locally. So let's do that. We're going to pip install the Hypertrial library, and in this case I'm going to make sure that it's the most up-to-date version. And we're going to be using this helper that's going to enable us to paste in our code from the template, and it will evaluate that code. It will first define and create a file based on this multi-line string, and then it will use and leverage the library for evaluating that file. So we're going to go to the previous tutorial and find the template. So we're going to gloss over all the boilerplate code and go to the part that we did actually work on. We're going to Control A or Command A and copy all of that. Then we're going to paste it as a multi-line string here. One little tricky note is that these helpers and functions have docstrings, which is great, but just make sure that the docstring is different than the multi-line string. So if I were to come here and define my docstring like this, now all of a sudden this multi-line string is simply these lines, and of course we want it to read all the lines. One other important thing is in the template here we commented out all logic having to do with registering the strategy, but now it's quite important to test the registration of the strategy, as well, as this is essentially what will happen behind the scenes when you submit your model. We'll be evaluating it end to end. All the logic needs to be there. So now that that string is pasted, we're going to go ahead and run it, and we're looking for this output: strategy passed all validation checks. If we see that, then that means that not only is the model logic okay and ready to submit, but we also haven't used any inappropriate packages or inappropriate package versions. And if we come down here, we can see that we did get that string. So what we're going to do now is we can go ahead and take the logic from construct features and compute weights and put it into Hypertrial for the submission. Now, in my case, the template here is the default template that you see. So there's nothing for me to paste. It's exactly the same. Just one thing to note is when you do want to come in and paste your own logic for constructing your features and computing your weights, the decorator here is automatically set up to the wallet address that defines your user ID. So you don't need to override that. You can just simply copy paste your new construct features. You might not be able to copy paste compute weights. You might need to paste in the logic, because I don't think you can delete this. Let me double check that. Oh, you can. Well, never mind. You can go ahead and copy paste all of compute weights, and once you've done that, you'll be prompted to submit your code. So this will go to our private GitHub repo where it's stored prior to us evaluating it, and it will create a buffer for you for 1 hour. So this is just to avoid any sort of spam. But if you do have any sort of improvements that you want to make to your model prior to the deadline, you could go ahead and do that. You just have to wait 1 hour between submissions. And just note that we always take the last version. So the last commit is the one that's being used. Per wallet address, you can only have one submission. And that's all. I wish you all luck, and I'm really excited to see all the interesting models that we will be receiving. Good luck.